Ang discuss natin ay alternating current. And to describe yung alternating current, we use yung concept ng phasors. Okay? And tapos tinignan natin kung ano ang effect ng alternating current na alternating source voltage sa mga circuit elements na resistor, capacitor, tsaka inductor. Okay, at nakita natin na nakita natin kung paano sila i-treat. Okay, and nakita rin natin na may mga parameters na mga bagong parameters na ginagamit para i-describe yung behavior nung circuit elements, at yung parameters na yun ay yung capacitive reactance at inductive reactance, which are essentially yung resistance tawag dito, dun sa inductor at sa capacitor. So you can think of them as resistance sa inductor at capacitor. Okay, tapos tawag dito, we can relate yung mga resistances na yon and yung mga voltages na yon gamit itong equation na ito for a simple na LRC or RLC na circuit, LRC series circuit or RLC series na circuit. Okay, so just to refresh what we have done before, pwede natin tignan itong example na ito, example 31.4. So in the series circuit of figure 31.3a, 31.3a, ito yata. 31.3? 31.13a pala. So 31.13a. So yan yon. Okay, yung circuit na yan, na RLC na series. Okay, suppose R is equal to 300 ohms, L is equal to 60 millihenry, tapos C is equal to 0.50 microfarad. Tapos yung source voltage or yung voltage is 50 volts and yung angular frequency is 10,000 radians per second. So find the reactances XL and XC, the impedance Z, and the current amplitude I, the phase angle phi, and the voltage amplitude across each circuit. Okay, so yan yung mga given. So yun yung mga given quantities. We have yung resistance, inductance, capacitance, voltage, at saka yung angular frequency. Okay. So unang pinapahanap ay yung XL at XC. So by definition, ang XL is equal to omega times L. Okay, alam natin na yung omega is 10,000 radians per second, and then yung inductance ay 60 millihenry. 60 times 10 to the 3. 10 to the minus 3 Henry. Okay, 31.4. Okay, so ang lalabas na inductive reactance dito ay 600 ohms. Then, yung capacitive reactance naman, XC, by definition is 1 over omega C. So equal to 1 over 10,000 radians per second times yung capacitance na 0.50 microfarad times 10 to the minus 6 farad. Okay, so XC ay equal sa 200 ohms. Now, we can get yung impedance from yung equation na nakita natin kanina. Ito. E is equal to square root ng R squared plus X minus XC. Square root ng R squared plus XL minus XC squared. So, ang R is already given 300 ohms plus yung difference ng XL at ng XC, which is 400 ohms. And then, square natin. And then, kunin natin yung square root. So, we get 500 ohms. Okay. Then, ang pinapahanap ay yung current amplitude. So, we can get yung current amplitude Ohm's law from the voltage amplitude divided by yung impedance. So yung voltage is 50 volts divided by yung impedance na 500 ohms. So yung current amplitude is 0.100 amperes. And then finally, yung phase angle, okay, so again, by definition, it's the inverse tangent of the difference between XL and XC and divided by yung resistance. So here, tangent inverse ng XL minus XC is 400 ohms divided by 300 ohms. So ang phase angle is 53 degrees. Tapos, napahanap din pala yung voltage amplitude across each circuit element. So, voltage amplitude across each circuit element. So, ibig sabihin, ano yung VR, okay, ano yung VC, at saka ano yung V. So, ang VR is I over R. So, ang current na na-compute natin is 0.1 amperes times yung resistance na 300 ohms. So, VR is equal to 30 volts. The amplitude ng voltage versus resistance, 30 volts. Amplitude ng capacitance is voltage across capacitance is I times XC. So we have 0.10 ampere. Tapos yung XC na compute natin to be 200 ohms. Okay, so this gives us 20 volts. Then finally yung VL is I times L. So 0.10 times 400 ohms. So VL is 40 volts. Okay, tama ba? VL is 600. Sorry. Difference pala yung 400. 600 ohms. So this is 60 volts. Okay. So medyo straightforward naman yung pag-solve nito. Kasi basically, kailangan nyo lang malaman kung ano yung mga equations ng bawat mga parameters na. Okay. So consider natin yung next example, 31.5. So in an LRC series circuit, okay, 2. For the LRC series circuit, in example 31.4, okay, find expressions for the time dependence of the instantaneous current and the instantaneous voltages across the resistor, inductor, capacitor, and the AC source. Okay, so the instantaneous current is given by yung current amplitude times cosine omega. So ang current amplitude na compute na natin from the previous problem to be 0.1 ampere. So 0.1 ampere times cosine, okay, ng ang angular frequency is 10,000 radians per second. 10,000 radians per second. So 10,000 radians per second times t. So yan yung current expression for the instantaneous current. Okay, through the LRC circuit. And then across the resistor, so that will be yung instantaneous na current times the resistance. So basically, multiply lang natin yung 0.10 amperes times yung resistance na 300 ohms times cosine ng 10,000 radians per second t. So this will become 30 volts times cosine ng 10,000 radians per second times T. Okay, so yun yung voltage across the resistor, instantaneous voltage across the resistor. Okay, yung tawag dito, instantaneous voltage naman across the inductor. Okay, so VL is equal to I actually hindi siya I kundi capital V L yung voltage amplitude, okay, sa inductor, okay, times, okay, so ito ngayon yung difference. Okay. Remember na yung voltage across the inductor, instantaneous voltage across the inductor ay, okay, nauuna ba siya sa voltage across the resistor or nahuhuli? Yung sa phasor diagram na discuss natin last week. Alin yung nasa harap? Yung VL or yung VR? So ang nauna ay yung VL, right? Saan ba yan? Ito. So dito sa figure, ito yung VR, ito yung VL. Okay, nauuna siya by 90 degrees at ito naman yung BC. So dito, ang isusulat natin dito ngayon is 10,000 radians per second times T, and then magdadagdag tayo ng 90 degrees. Okay, kasi nauuna siya by 90. Okay. So ang VL na compute natin from yung previous na problem to be 60 volts. Okay, so this will be 60 volts times cosine is 10,000 radians per second times T plus 90 degrees. So yun yung expression for VL. Tapos, yung VC naman ay nahuhuli by 90 degrees. So, VC is equal to voltage amplitude across capacitor times cosine ng 10,000 radians per second times T minus 90 degrees. Okay, so, equal to sa yung VC, voltage amplitude across capacitor, kinompute na natin sa previous problem to be 20 volts times cosine ng 10,000 radians per second is T minus 90 degrees. Okay. Okay. Now, ang last is yung AC na source. Okay. So, AC source. Ang AC source is, syempre, yung V. Okay. So, kung titignan natin yung circuit, okay, so yan yung AC source. So, yung source na yan ay merong voltage na V. Okay. So, ano ay ang ilalagay natin dito? Okay. So, na-compute natin yung total voltage. Kinompute ba natin yung total voltage? Hindi natin kinompute. No? So, yung total voltage is tulad nung sa R, so this is just VR squared plus VL minus VC squared square root. Okay. Base dito sa equation nito, okay, na pinag-aralan natin last meeting. Okay. Tapos, that will give us, ang VR is 30 volts plus 60 minus 20 is 40 volts squared and then square root. So, yung V is equal to 50 volts. So, yung voltage amplitude ng source is 50 volts. So, V, anong tawag dito? 50 volts. So, 50 volts times cos ng 10,000 radians per second T. Okay, now ano yung ilalagay natin na phase angle dyan. Okay. Ang ilalagay natin na phase angle ay na-compute natin na phase angle from the previous problem, which is 53 degrees. Okay? Ang next question is, ano yung ilalagay natin na sign? Plus ba or minus? Okay, now, if you look at this figure, okay, so pwede rin itong figure na ito. Mas okay yata itong figure na ito. Pero magulo na, no? Kasi dami ko nang pinagdodrawing-drawing. Ayan. Okay, so yan, tignan natin. So ito yung case na kung saan yung VL ay mas malaki kaysa VC. Right? So in this case, okay, VL minus VC will have tawag dito, will have this result. Okay, kasi mas malaki yung VL. Okay, which means na nauuna siya by this amount. Okay, nauuna siya sa VR. Okay? So dahil nauuna siya, ang ilalagay natin dito ay plus, okay, and then yung 53 degrees. Okay? Now, kung halimbawa na makita nyo na mas malaki yung VC kaysa VL, dun nyo lang gagamitin yung case na negative yung sign na gagamitin. Okay, so tignan nyo kung ano yung mas malaki. Pag mas malaki yung VL, then lalagay nyo na phase angle is positive. Tapos kung mas malaki yung VC, lalagay nyo na phase angle ay negative. Okay. So yan na yung sa voltage source. Questions? Okay. Now, so, next ay di-discuss natin ay yung power sa alternating na circuit. Okay? So yung definition ng power tulad din sa previous sa pinag-aralan natin before ay power is just yung instantaneous power is just the product of the instantaneous voltage times the instantaneous na current. Okay, so instantaneous na power yan. But then you also have yung average power. So yung average power ay equals sa 1/2 times yung voltage amplitude times yung tawag dito, current amplitude. Okay. You can actually also write this as, okay, so kung pwedeng gawin natin ito mathematically, pwede ito, no? V over square root of 2, I over square root of 2. Okay, so bakit over square root of 2? Kasi yung expression na yan is V RMS. Diba? At itong expression na ito ay RMS ng dito ng current. So it's V RMS times I. So yung average power can also be tawag dito, obtained by multiplying yung RMS na average voltage and yung RMS ng RMS ng voltage amplitude at saka RMS ng current na amplitude. Okay. And since yung VRMS is just IRMS times yung resistance na R, okay. So pwede rin natin itong isulat as V squared RMS over R or I squared RMS times R. Okay, questions? So itong figure na ito, yan yung power diagram para sa average power diagram para sa power diagram para sa pure na resistor. Okay, so P is equal to VI tulad ng sinabi natin. Okay, and it's always positive because V and I are either both positive or both negative at any instant. Okay. Kasi proportional lang naman sila sa isa't isa. Right? Now, for an inductor or capacitor, P is equal to VI is alternately positive and negative. Okay? Which means na yung average power nila ay zero. Okay, so walang average power na nagko-correspond sa inductor or para sa capacitor. But you can still get yung instantaneous power, okay, by multiplying yung voltage, tawag dito, instantaneous voltage sa capacitor and instantaneous current sa capacitor. And ganun din para sa inductor. So, kung gusto nyo makuha yung power across the inductor, instantaneous power across the inductor, multiply nyo lang yung instantaneous voltage across the inductor times yung instantaneous current across the inductor. Okay. Magkakaroon lang kayo ng terms na tawag dito na cosine plus 90 pag inductor times cosine. Pag capacitor naman is cosine theta minus 90 times cosine. Okay. So may ganun lang na consideration pagdating sa power across the inductor at across the capacitor. Okay. Okay, so tignan natin ito. Example. In a hair dryer, an electric hair dryer is rated at 1,500 watts. Pag nakita niyo yan, pag ang rating niya is 1,500 watts, ang parating tinitingnan dyan is the average power. Okay, so pag bumili kayo ng appliance, yun ay, ang rating na yun is always the average power. Okay, at 120 volts. And then yung 120 volts na yan ay RMS na voltage. Okay? So calculate A, the resistance. And then B, tawag dito, the RMS current. And C, the maximum instantaneous power. So assume that the dryer is a pure resistor. Okay, the heating element acts as a resistor. So sa letter A, ang pinapakompute ay yung resistance. Okay, and given yung power, average power, and then yung RMS na voltage. Okay, so from yung equations na nakuha natin before, okay, ito yung pwede natin gamitin. Average power, and then itong RMS voltage, and then hinahanap natin yung resistance. So ito yung equation na consider natin na gamitin. So R is equal to VRMS squared divided by yung average power. So ang VRMS squared, ang VRMS is 120 volts and it's square niyan divided by 1,500 watts. So you get the resistance to be 9.6 ohms. Letter B. Ang letter B ay pinapahanap yung RMS na current. So alam natin from this equation na yung average power ay equal sa VRMS times IRMS. Alam natin yung VRMS tsaka yung IRMS, PRMS, so yung yung IRMS is just equal to the average power divided by VRMS. So average power is 1,500 watts divided by 120 volts. So ang RMS current is 12.5. Letter C, the maximum instantaneous power. Ano ang maximum instantaneous na power? So you get the maximum instantaneous na power from the voltage amplitude, the product of the voltage amplitude, okay, and the current amplitude. Okay. So we know na yung average power is equal to 1/2 VI. Okay. And itong VI na ito, yan yung maximum power. So, ibig sabihin, ito ay equal sa 2 times the average power. So, ang P max ngayon is 2 times 1,500 watts or 3,000 watts. Okay. Okay, next problem. Power in an LRC series circuit. So for the LRC series circuit of example 31.4, so ano yung 31.4? So example na ito, okay, yung kanina. So for that circuit, calculate the power factor. And di ko ata diniscuss yung power factor. And calculate the average power delivered to the entire circuit. Oo, hindi ko nga diniscuss yung power factor. Ano saan ba? Okay. Nag-skip ako. Sorry. Doon ako in-skip. Sana yung... So, ito yung dinidiscuss natin lahat ng power. No? So, yeah. So, dadagdag lang ako ng isang slide dito. So, in general, pag dinidiscuss natin yung total power, so it's P is equal to VI. And, okay, pwede natin isulat yung V as V cosine omega t plus phi. Okay. Okay, times I cosine omega t. Okay, and tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, if itong expression na ito is or describes yung inductor, then plus phi talaga yan. Pero kung yung expression na yan describes a capacitor, then ilalagay niyo dyan is minus 5. Okay. So, basically, mamultiply nyo lang yan sa isa't isa. So, what we have is, paano nyo gagawin ito mathematically? Cosine omega t, cosine phi, minus sine omega t, sine phi, times I cosine omega t. Okay, so this becomes bi tapos cosine squared omega t cosine phi, okay, minus cosine omega t sine omega t times sine phi. So yun yung parang total na power. And in this case, pag kinuha natin yung average power, okay, ang kinukuha natin, ang makukuha natin is 1/2 V times I times cosine ng phi. Okay, bakit yan yung matitira? Kasi ang average, basically ang average nito is 0, di ba? Diniscuss na natin yung last time kasi for every positive component, meron siya negative component, right? Ganun din ito, 0 din yan para sa cosine. Pero yung cosine squared, ang average niyan, pag in-square mo na kasi lahat nasa ibabaw na, di ba? It's like taking the absolute value. So, ang average niyan is 1/2. So, kaya yun yung lumabas. 1/2 VI cosine ng phi. Now, itong term na ito, yung cosine phi, yan yung tinatawag na power factor. Okay. And we know na yung 1/2 VI is just V RMS times I RMS times the power factor. Okay. So now we can go back here. Okay, and solve for the power factor. Ang power factor is cosine phi. And from problem 31.4, saan na ba yung problem 31.4? Okay, nakuha natin na yung phi is 53 degrees. So ang power factor ngayon is cosine ng 53 degrees, which is equal to 0.60. Now, letter B, calculate the average power delivered to the entire circuit and to each circuit element. So, alam natin na yung average power is 1/2 VI times cosine ng phi. So, 1/2 times yung voltage amplitude na 50 volts, tapos 0.10 amperes na current, and then yung cosine ng 53 degrees. So, yung average power ay equal ngayon sa 1.5 volts. Okay. Questions? Medyo madami, no? Sama niyo pa yung yung tawag dito sa previous na chapter pa. So madami talaga. Daming nangyayari. Okay? Pero again, ang tip ko lang talaga sa inyo is mag-practice lang kayo mag-solve ng problems. Mag-practice pa kayo. Pero paano nyo alam na tama yung ginagawa nyo? Okay. Sige. There's a couple more concepts bago matapos itong chapter na ito. Okay. Yung unang concept ay resonance. Nabanggit na natin yung resonance sa last na meeting. Okay. So pag sinabing resonance, basically, sa RLC na circuit, okay, ang resonance, is when the inductive reactance ay equal sa capacitive reactance. Okay, so doon nangyayari yung resonance. Kasi pag equal yung XL sa XC, tulad ng nakikita nyo rito, okay, yung second term dun sa square root is just 0. Okay, and yung impedance ngayon is just equal to the resistance ng resistor. Okay, so sa graph na ito, yung kulay, anong kulay ba yan? Light brown? Anong tawag mo dyan sa kulay na yan? So yung kulay na yan, yan yung graph ng Z. Okay. And dun sa point na kung saan yung XL ay equal sa XC, so itong point na ito, dun sa point na yan, okay, tawag dito, yan yung point ng resonance. So ito yung tawag dito, yung angular frequency corresponding to the resonance state or yung resonance frequency. Okay, so tawag natin dyan ay resonance frequency. Okay? Now, anong nangyayari sa ibang mga parameters at resonance? So, dito sa graph na ito, pinapakita ko anong nangyayari sa current at resonance. So, below the resonance frequency, so dito sa region na ito, makikita ninyo na yung current ay paakyat pa lang. Pero pagdating niya sa resonance, since ang natitirang resistance ay natitirang impedance ay dahil sa resistance, wala ng XL tsaka ng XC, di ba? So yung current ay maximum. Okay? Pero if you go outside ng resonance frequency, bababa ulit yung current kasi meron ka na ulit XL tsaka XC. Okay? And if you recall, sa region na ito, this is, ang dominant dito is yung XC, and dito sa region na ito, ang dominant dito is yung XL. Okay? So, kaya yung current is maximum at the resonant frequency. So, ito yung isang example okay, nung current amplitude is a function of the angular frequency okay, for a series circuit na kung saan yung voltage ay 100 volts, yung impedance, yung inductance ay 2 Henry at yung capacitance ay 0.5 microfarad. Okay, for different values of resistance. So pag ang resistance ay 200 ohms, then you get this really sharp peak. And then pag tinasan niyo yung resistance, bababa of course yung current. Okay? And then pag binabaan niyo pa yung resistance, at pag tinasan niyo pa yung resistance, yung current ay medyo mag-smoothen out o mag-flatten. Okay? Now, ano ba yung angular frequency niya? So how do we solve for the angular frequency? Remember na at resonance, XL is equal to XC. Okay. Now, ang XL is omega L. Okay. So at resonance, ang omega is just omega naught. Ang XC naman is 1 over omega C. So this gives us omega squared is equal to 1 over LC. Or yung resonance frequency is just 1 over LC, then yung square root. Square root net. Square root ng 1 over LC. So yan yung resonant frequency. Or more specifically, resonance angular frequency. Kasi pag resonance frequency, dapat F yun. So resonance angular frequency. So related, of course, yan sa 2 pi F naught. At itong F naught na yan, yan yung angular. Okay. Okay, so now consider natin itong example na to. So sa example 31.8, merong radio. So the series circuit in figure 31.20, so yung nasa baba, is similar to some radio tuning circuit. It is connected to a variable frequency AC source with an RMS terminal voltage of 1. So RMS terminal voltage na 1 volt. Okay, and pinapakita din yan dito sa video. So yun yung 1 volt na voltage, RMS. Tapos sinasabi rin dito kung ano yung current through this branch. Okay, so current through this branch is 2 milliamperes. Okay, and then na-measure din niya yung voltage across the resistor, voltage across the inductor, and voltage across the capacitor. Okay, pero yung voltage across the inductor at saka the capacitor ay 0 volts. Okay, bakit siya 0? The only way na magiging 0 yan is when BL is equal to BC. At kailan nangyayari yun? At resonance. Diba? So, ibig sabihin, yung buong circuit na to ay nasa resonance. Okay. So, which is why pinapakompute yung resonant na frequency. So, letter A, ano yung resonant? Ito ay resonant angular frequency, which is equal to 1 over square root ng LC. Equal to sa 2 pi, and then yung angular frequency is F naught. Okay, so yung F naught ngayon is 1 over 2 pi times 1 over square root ng LC. So 1 over 2 pi times 1. So ano bang L? Given ba yung L? Ayan nakalagay. It's 0.4 times 10 to the minus 3 Henry. And then yung C is 100 picofarad times 10 to the minus 12 farad. And then over 1 divided by, or kunin niyo yung square root. So makukuha niyo na yung angular frequency. So in this case, ang angular frequency will be 8.0 times 10 to the 5 hertz or 800 kilohertz. Okay. Letter B. So sa letter B, ang pinapahanap ay inductive reactance and the capacitive reactance X. So ang inductive reactance is XL, so equal to sa omega L, omega naught L. So this is 2 pi F naught L. So this will give us 2 pi times 800 times 10 to the 3 hertz times yung inductance na 0.40 millihenry times 10 to the minus 3. So yung inductive reactance is 2,000 ohms or 2 kilo ohms. Okay, tapos yung capacitive reactance XC equals 1 over omega naught C. Okay, so equal ngayon yan sa 1 over, ang omega naught is 800 times 10 to the 3 hertz. Tapos yung capacitance ay 100 picofarad. So 100 times 10 to the minus 12 farad. Kunin natin yung inverse niyan. Ang XC ngayon ay equal sa 2,000 ohms or 2 kilos. Expected naman natin na pareho sila dapat, di ba? Bakit? Kasi in resonance sila. Okay, so, sa letter C, ang pinapahanap ay yung RMS current. Okay, so, ang RMS current, alam natin na yung from Ohm's law, VRMS is equal to I RMS times yung impedance. Okay. Now, ang I RMS ngayon is V RMS over the impedance. Okay. Pero dahil nga in resonance siya, yung impedance is just equal to the resistance. Okay. And yung VRMS, sinabi naman dito na 1 volt. Okay. So 1 volt divided by ano nga yung VRMS? Yung resistance, 500 ohms. So this is equal to 0.02 amperes or 2 milliamperes. And then finally, for letter D, the RMS voltage across each circuit element. So the RMS voltage across each circuit element. So sa resistor, it's just equal to the RMS current times R. Nakuha na natin yung RMS current to be 0.002 amperes. Tapos alam natin na yung R is 300 ohms. Asan yun? 31.4. So, so this gives us, yung R pala nandito. R is 500 ohms pala, sorry. So this gives us 1.0. Now, yung voltage across the inductor, RMS voltage across the inductor ay equal sa I RMS times XL. So, ang IRMS 0.002 amperes. Ang XL na solve natin earlier to be 2 kilo ohms, 2,000 ohms. So, ilan to? 4 volts. And then yung BC RMS ay equal sa I RMS times XC. Okay, so this is also 4 volts. Kasi nga, BL is equal to BC. Kasi nga, in resonance. Okay. Questions? Questions? Yeah. Okay, so break muna tayo. Pause muna natin ito. Recording. Sige, hindi na natin i-discuss yung transformers. May isa pa kasing topic yan, tawag transformers. Pero panoorin nyo na lang sa sine. Okay, so unahin natin yung mutual inductance from last month. Okay. .1. Okay, so ito yung problem 30.1. Two coils have mutual inductance M equal to 3.25 times 10 to the minus 4 Henry. Okay, and the current I in the first coil increases at a uniform rate of 830 ampere per second. So what is the magnitude of the induced EMF in the second coil? Is it constant? Then letter B, suppose that the current described is in the second coil rather than the first. Okay. What is the magnitude of the induced EMF in the first coil? Okay, so ito yung given na quantities. So yung mutual inductance, okay, na variable. And then yung current, rate of change ng current, which is 830 ampere per second. So if you write that out, so that's M equals 3.25 times 10 to the minus 4 Henry. And yung rate of change ng current ay di dt, diba? Equals sa 830 ampere per second. So ano expression for the EMF? So letter A. Ano expression for the EMF? Nakasulat ba sa notes ninyo? Yes. Okay, so ang EMF is equal to negative M di dt. Okay, so equals a negative 3.25 times 10 to the minus 4 Henry times 830 ampere per second. So, ilan yan? Okay, so, paki-calculate kasi ngayon, problem from the end of the chapter ng book sinusolve natin. So, ilan? Ilan? 37? Okay, volts. Negative 0.27 volts. Constant ba? Yung isang tanong? Constant pa siya? Yes, hindi siya nagbabago, di ba? Yes, it's a constant. Okay, so sa letter B, okay, so sa letter A, yung current, yung current nagbabago dun sa first coil. Ang EMF ay napoproduce dun sa second coil. Okay, at yung EMF na napoproduce sa second coil is negative 0.27. Ang tanong sa letter B is that paano kung yung second coil, paano kung yung rate ng change na yan, yung 830 ampere per second na yan, nandun sa second coil? Okay, imbis na nandun sa first. Ano ngayon ang magnitude ng induced EMF dun sa first coil? So, ano ang induced EMF dun sa first coil in that case? Hindi ba pareho lang? Diba? Right? Hindi nagmamatter actually kung anong coil yung pinag-uusapan natin. Kasi if yung current change dun sa isang coil will induce an EMF in the other coil. It doesn't matter kung first or second yung coils natin. Okay. Okay. Masyado yata itong madali para sa inyo, no? Hindi ako makakapagbigay ng ano na problem na kasi baka tatanungin niyo, meron bang similar na problem na ibibigay sa exam? Hindi pa namin ginagawa kasi yung exam. So Tuesday pa lang kayo mag-uusap. Okay. So itong problem na to is corresponds to an RL circuit. So if you recall, ang RL circuit is a circuit consisting of a resistor, an inductor, and um, and then syempre yung voltage source niya. So, okay, so dito we have in figure 30.11, pala nasama 30.11. So figure 30.11 ay okay, so itong figure na ito. I hope I hope familiar sa inyo. So sa figure na yan, okay, suppose that the EMF is 60 volts. Okay lang basahin nyo na lang. Okay na, nabasa nyo na? Okay. So if you've given quantities, EMF, 60 volts, resistance, inductance. Switch S2 is open, switch S1 is left closed. So open ito, and then ito ay closed. Pag close yung S1, ang nangyayari ay meron kang current dito sa loop na ito. Right? Okay. So ano yung, ang unang tanong is, A, ano yung initial current in the resistor just after S2 is closed and S1 is open? Okay, so i-recall natin yung nangyayari dito sa circuit. So, initially, pag open yung switch S1, syempre may voltage ka dito sa EMF, di ba? Nandiyan lang naman yan eh. Pero open pa rin yung circuit. Dahil open circuit, wala kang voltage dito sa AB, okay, or voltage across the resistor, at wala ka rin voltage sa BC, voltage across the inductor, kasi nga open yung switch. Okay? Pero at the instant na i-open mo yung, i-close mo yung switch na yan, may current na magpo-flow. At that instant, lahat ng voltage ng EMF ay i-drop dito sa resistor. Okay? Wala ka pang voltage dun sa inductor. And then habang tumatagal, nababawasan yung voltage sa resistor, tapos nadadagdagan yung voltage dun sa inductor. Until such time na zero na yung voltage dun sa resistor at maximum na yung voltage sa inductor. At that time, zero na rin yung current. So ang nangyayari is, again, ang nangyayari ay sa simula at the instant na i-close mo yung switch, lahat ng voltage nito dito mo pupunta, zero yan. Yung current is maximum. Then, as time passes by, nahahati yung voltage between these two, yung current na babawasan. And then, after some time, wala ka ng voltage dito, which means na wala ka ng current. Okay? And nandito na binagsak lahat ng voltage. So again, ang gawa ng inductor, if you recall, i-store niya yung energy na yon in the form of magnetic potential energy. Okay, so yun yung nangyayari. So letter A, ano yung initial na current dun sa resistor just after S2 is closed? Okay, so just after S2 is closed, ang initial na current, okay, I equal sa EMF over R. Okay, tatanungin niyo siguro, bakit hindi kasama yung voltage across the inductor? Kasi nga, at T equals 0, anong voltage across the inductor? 0. Right? Equal ngayon to sa 60 volts divided by 240 ohms. So 60 divided by 240, 240.1, 2.5. 0.25. Tama? Tama ba? 0.25. 0.25. Okay. So, initial. Actually, initial siya. So, I at T equals 0. Okay, so what is the current in the, so letter B, yung letter A. Letter B, what is the current in the resistor at T equals 4 times 10 to the minus 4 seconds? Okay, so ano yung expression for the current dun sa RL na circuit? Okay, so kung titignan niyo yung notes niyo, ano yung expression na yun? Equal sa E over R, 1 minus exponential negative R over L times T. So at T, actually pwede nyo nang gamitin itong equation na to even sa letter A kasi at T equals 0, itong term na to is just equal to 1. And then 1 minus 1 is 0. Tama. Ay, hindi, sorry. At T equals 0, 1. Ba't zero yung current? Okay, anyway, sige. May pag-isipan ko yan. Pero ngayon tignan natin yung letter B. T equals 4 times 10 to the minus 4 seconds. So ipapasok lang natin yung sa expression. E over R is 0.25 amperes times 1 minus exponential ng negative. Ano yung R? 240 ohms divided by L, which is 0.160 Henry, and then multiplied by 4 times 10 to the minus 4 seconds. Okay. So, ilan ngayon yan? Okay, so ilan yan? So, 0.160 divided by divided by 240. Okay. So, ano sagot? 0 point? I is equal to 0.11 amperes. Zero point 11 amperes. Dali ah. Kasi ang time constant, kailangan ko lang i-double check. Ang time constant is L over R. Ito paki-compute. 0.160 Henry divided by 240 ohms. So, anong time constant? Okay. So, ay, oh, oo, yung check, yung double check. Actually, pag naka-close yung switch, dapat nag-decrease o nag-increase yung current. Dapat nag-increase pala yung current, baliktad pala yung sinabi ko sa inyo. So, tama lang na yung at equals 0. Tama actually expression ito. So, dapat lang at equals 0, Zero yan. So dapat ang current dito is zero. Okay, so mali yung sagot ko dito. So this is zero. And makikita niyo yan din sa expression na ito. So pag ginamit ito yung expression na ito, and in-apply niyo yung t equals zero dyan, so makukuha niyo na zero yung initial na current. Okay? Kaya ko actually iniisip itong 0.11 at pinakompute sa inyo yung time constant. Kasi ang time constant, di ba, sabi natin is 63%. Di ba? Yun yung 63%. Ang 63% ng 0.25, that's about 2/3. Nasa ano yun? Nasa, ang tawag dito? Nasa mga 16, mga 0.16 okay, amperes. Pero ito, yung 0.11, hindi pa siya umabot sa 2/3 eh. So, kaya ako nagtataka bakit siya mas mababa. Okay, kasi for ano pa lang to, 0.4 milliseconds, ito 0.67 milliseconds na eh. So, so ngayon, pag ito yung sinunod natin, mas nagme-make sense. Actually, tumataas nga yung current. Okay, habang tumatawid. Hindi siya bumababa. Tama lang, oh. Of course. Kasi sinacharge nga niya yung ano, sinacharge nga yung capacitor. Yung inductor. Okay, so tama lang. Okay. So nagkamali ako kanina. So letter B, yan yung sagot sa letter B. So letter C, what is the potential difference between points B and C? Okay, at t equals 4 times 10 to the minus 4 seconds. So ano bang points B and C? So yun yung voltage across the inductor, VL. Okay. So anong voltage across the inductor? Basically, yun yung tanong. Anong voltage across the inductor at that time? Okay, so alam natin na yung voltage across the inductor is given by yung current okay, times actually inductance times DI, right? By definition. Okay, so alam natin yung inductance. Ang current is E over R plus 1 minus exponential negative R over L times T. Okay, so kukunin natin yung derivative niyan. Anong derivative niyan? LE over R. So yung first term, of course, will become will become zero pag kinuha yung derivative. Then matitira na lang yung second term. Ang second term is negative exponential, okay, negative R over L times T. And then ilalabas natin ngayon yung constant na negative R over L. So negative R over L, okay, times negative exponential negative R over L times T. So this gives us, cancel yung R niyan. So EL over C times exponential negative R over L times. Okay, so yung voltage across the inductor is, ano yung EMF? 60 volts times yung inductance, 0.160. Henry, divide by yung capacitance. Anong capacitance? Inductance din. Dali. L. Sorry. So actually, E na lang pala siya. Exponential 60 volts times exponential negative R over L for divided by 4 divided by 6.67 times 10 to the minus 4. So yan yung B. So 11 over 25. to ilan? Mga 26, 27 volts. Ay, sorry. Wala na yung times 10 to the minus 4. Yan lang, ganyan lang siya. 4 over 6.67. Ha? So, yung L over R is 6.67. Yung 4, yun yung given, yung T. So, shortcut ko na siya bali. So, basically, ganun yun, no? E minus R over L times T. So, E minus, yung T is 4 times 10 to the minus 4 divided by 6.67 times 10 to the minus 4. Okay. Ilan? 32, 33. So, yun yung voltage across the inductor at that time. Okay, so which point is at a higher potential? B or C? Kasi yun naman tinatanong, di ba? B or C? Alin yung mas mataas yung potential? Sa point B or sa point C? So, basically, ang tanong is, alin dyan yung positive, tsaka alin dyan yung negative. So, dito kasi, alam natin na ito yung positive, ito yung negative. Kasi yan yung EMF mo, yung source mo. Pagdating dito, sa B and C, alin dyan yung positive, tsaka alin dyan yung negative. So, sa aling direction, nag-i-increase yung current? To the left or to the right? To the left. So, pag ganyan yung case, yung current, i-increase ng current papunta sa left. So, saan yung positive? Saan yung positive na sign? Kasi para pumunta yung current sa kabilang side, ano dapat yung sign doon sa pupuntahan niya? Dapat negative, di ba? So, ito plus, ito yung minus. Okay, so ganun din yan. Plus, minus. As long as itong current na to ay increasing in this direction. Pag decreasing siya, magbabaliktad. Okay? Okay, so, then, ang point na nasa higher potential ay point P. Then how long does it take the current to decrease to half its initial value? So again, yung expression natin for the current is E over R times 1 minus exponential negative R over L times T. Okay, so para mag-decrease siya sa kanyang half ng value, ibig sabihin I over T divided by E over R dapat ay equal sa 0.5. 0.5. Okay? Half ng value, 1 minus exponential negative R over L. So, pag ganyan ang case, ibig sabihin, yung exponential ng negative R over L times T ay equal sa 0. Or, negative R over L times T is equal to ln ng 0.5. Ngayon, ang R over L is 6.67 times 10 to the minus 4 seconds negative. Ano ang ln ng 0.5? So, kung ilagay sa calculator, anong ln ng 0.5? Negative 0.69. Okay? So dyan mo compute na kagad yung time. So 0.69 times 6.67 times 10 to the minus 4 seconds. So anong time? Time dyan? 4.67. 10 to the minus 4. Tama ba? 60? Okay? So T is equal to 4.60 times 10 to the minus 4 seconds. So yan yung time na kung saan kalahati na lang yung 50% na lang yung current na dumadaan dun sa system. Okay? Okay. Sige, hanggang dyan na lang tayo.